Hello there. My name's Sarah, and I'd like to welcome you to Sounds Curious, the home of relaxing and calming ASMR audio adventures. I'm going to use this video as an opportunity to introduce myself to you and let you know a little bit about me. Most of my videos are going to be audio tracks with accompanying slideshows of photographs. But today, I must admit, for this special introductory video, I was planning to actually film it. I did try to set up a camera in here, but the audio booth where I am, where I record all of my audio tracks, is so tiny that I couldn't actually set up the camera in here. And even when I tried just to use the camera on my iPad, it didn't really work. All you could see was a close-up of sort of half of my face. So I decided it would be better just to start as I mean to go on and record just the audio as usual. And I will add a slideshow of a couple of photos that were taken of me in a bigger studio, just so that you can put a face to the voice. In general, I'm a bit of an audio geek. I love listening to audiobooks and certain ASMR artists, and I also use audio to relax and help me to sleep as well. My day job mainly revolves around the theatre world. I work as a writer, director and performer, but I have also begun to move into the audiobook world as well, just because I'm such an audio fan it seemed like the natural thing to do. So, Sounds Curious began as an offshoot of my theatre company, and I run it with my friend Daniel Barry, who's a very talented actor, writer and director. And basically, we're just a couple of audio nerds who want to create some original and interesting audio content. Dan doesn't experience ASMR, but I do. I'm one of the lucky minority who gets those amazing head tingles. And it's something I've had all my life. I remember when I was a child, I had a little record player and some storybook vinyl records that I would listen to over and over again. And sometimes, when the narrator was speaking, I would get this amazing tingling feeling in my scalp. However, I didn't know that this sensation had a name, and for years, in fact, I just thought that it was something that everybody felt when they listened to certain voices or certain audio. I didn't discover that what I was experiencing was called ASMR until one day when I was adapting one of my theatre scripts for audio. The script was called Fairy Tales for Grown-Ups, and one of the tales is set in an 18th century royal court, which, well, you never actually find out where it's supposed to be. But when I was writing it, I basically made it a fictional version of the court of Versailles in France. While I was adapting this story for audio, I wanted to add in a bit of extra background description, because although that's not necessary on stage, it does help to set the scene in an audiobook. So I decided to see if I could find a documentary to watch, and I found one on YouTube called The History of the Palace of Versailles. I started to watch it, and I quickly realised that it wasn't a sort of standard filmed documentary, but was actually more of an audio track with an accompanying slideshow of images. I was immediately caught by the narrator's voice. The video had been made by someone called the French Whisperer, and he had the most wonderfully relaxing and soothing voice, and it gave me those delightful head tingles. So I had another look and discovered that the French Whisperer had made lots of videos on different historical and cultural topics. All of them seemed to include this phrase, ASMR, in their titles, and I didn't know what this was. So I looked it up and wow, a whole new world just opened up to me. Not only did I discover that ASMR was a thing, but that also there was this whole YouTube community dedicated to it, and I could become part of that. I've been part of that community now as a listener for about 3 years, and I've finally decided it's time to expand my participation and join in as a creator of videos as well. One reason why I've decided to do this is because, as I've already said, I am an audio geek, and it seemed like the right thing to do, to use my skills in that area to give something back to this wonderful ASMR community. However, another reason why I've decided to do it is because the French Whisperer, sadly, is no longer making any new videos. You can still listen to his old videos. His channel is still up and running, and if you haven't heard any of his tracks, then I would thoroughly recommend them. I tend to go back and re-listen to his videos over and over again. However, because he's not putting out any more new content at the moment, I thought I would create some myself, picking up where the French Whisperer left off, in terms of making simple audio track videos with an emphasis on soothing vocals and hopefully interesting content, but doing it in my own way and talking about topics that I feel really connected to. These are the sort of tracks that, when other people do them, I really enjoy listening to, because I do like content that's a little bit interesting or cultural, and I do prefer to listen rather than watch. I like to be able to just close my eyes and drift off to sleep if I want to, while I listen to a soothing and consistent voice. However, I do realise that this type of quite simple track isn't for everyone. I know a lot of people love visual ASMR, and also that they often prefer non-vocal sounds like tapping or brushing. And I think that's great. One of the things I absolutely love about the ASMR community is that it's so inclusive and offers something for everyone. It's a community with a very big heart, I think, and it recognises and celebrates the fact that ASMR is a very individual and personal experience. So, if my videos don't work for you, then that's okay with me. There are so many wonderful ASMR artists out there, creating all sorts of amazing and different videos, and I'm sure you'll find one that's right for you. I'm just trying to fill one very particular, very tiny niche for people who like to listen to simple audio tracks with a bit of interesting cultural content. Talking of content, my aim with these videos is to share topics with you that I find inspiring and to talk about them with some real heart and soul. That means there'll be a lot of videos on subjects that personally appeal to me, such as history, art history, literature, fairy tales, films, museums, and historic houses. I'm a bit of a museum and historic house geek as well, I'm afraid. However, I am very open to suggestions from my listeners. So, if you have an idea you'd like me to consider for a talk, then please do leave me a comment or look me up on social media under Sounds Curious Audio. With each of our talks, I'd like to use my voice to lead you into a different place or a different subject that we can explore together in an audio adventure. So, whether you experience ASMR or whether you're just looking for some soothing and relaxing audio to listen to, hopefully you'll enjoy going on these audio adventures with me. I think I've rambled on quite long enough now. Thank you so much for listening to this introduction. It's lovely to meet you, and I do hope you can join me again soon for a Sounds Curious audio adventure. Until then, thank you for your company. Goodbye.